I've been blessed in the sense that my kids are pretty responsive to what we do, what we say. And I think honestly, when I look back in retrospect, I think my father might have been ill-equipped at times as he was coming. He might have had his own personal things going on. And then you get home from working and you feel insufficient, and then here's your kid that's jacked up at school. Nothing even that major, but you just get all of the day's pain just, lashed out on you or whatnot. And it's not to say I was abused. I think sometimes he kind of crossed the line, but I'm just raising that. It's like the difference between a 90s NBA player and this new generation. You feel me? Like, I think that's just kind of, we're just sensitive. And I think just the new generation, a little sensitive. You know what I mean? A little sensitive. And
hey, you're talking to a soccer player. I get it. We get that shit all the time.
I mean, soccer players, they get hit the ankle, leaving a neck brace, carry this guy out.
Let's get a hell of back.
For real.
I was just watching some highlights today, and I was like, it hasn't slowed down at all. You would think, like, come on, it's actually exaggerated because you got VAR, you got all these slow-mo angles from everywhere, and it's like, that doesn't hurt.
It didn't hurt at all.
What is that encouraging? You know what I mean? Like, it's not encouraging better skill, technique. It's actually encouraging that strategy.
Yeah. And exactly, that's what it does in all these sports. It's part of the game now. When Hack a Shack and all, we don't even, we don't even want to.
Yeah, I know we're dealing with a hardcore NBA fan here. So
no, we don't. I think I'm just more into I miss the grit, dude. I miss grit. I miss when you had to deal with something and, you couldn't just whine and then everything was handed to you on a platter. I felt like that's kind of a rite of passage, even like construction. It was just old school. Somebody's yelling at you, deal with it. Be coachable. This is part of you turning into this next person, your transition. So
how do you deal with stress? I think that's a big measure today, right? Like today, the instant any amount of stress is introduced, it's like you have an out. And you can claim victim, you can throw that card out there, you can claim, hey, that's not right according to this movement and this hashtag and so forth. Like there's all these outs versus it's just you and that bully that's asking for your money, or it's just you and that person at the bus stop. Like that kind of
it actually
sink or swim.
It's separating it, man. Like if you've got the majority and what's being pushed extremely hard on a lot of these media platforms, the majority is falling soft. And that's just real. But you're not the whole world is going to be soft. So what is happening, and I think you're getting this huge majority that's going to just be bullied. And you're going to have these wolves that are actually happy. It's like if I was a evil and I understood that everybody else is a punk, right? I'm punking everybody. You know what I mean? It's like, so I don't want my kids to feel, it's like, I still feel like you should teach a kid how to throw a 1-2. You know what I mean? I feel like that's important. You should know how to do yard work. I mean, it sounds cliche, but it's true, bro. And people, when I was in my 20s, this is when things started to fall apart. You know what I mean? Shout out to the roots. Things started to fall apart though, man. And then I don't know, man. I'm not even mad. I'm just more disappointed that mental health is at an all-time high. It's suicide rates, all this stuff. And now as we swing back to just the age, I think I don't know what happened. I used to be about my drinking and partying, and it wasn't about not having guidance. I cared about things that are happening in the world, but they weren't, just kind of off in the distance. I knew it was happening. Yeah. But now when I wake up, man, it's like I pray, I get my prayer on, make my connection with God, and then I think about in my mind, and it's what hits me first is just what's happening. And I feel I'm not doing my part if I don't contribute somehow. I did enough eating, you know what I'm saying, in my younger life. So now it's time to feed,
Eating and feeding and being that provider, right?
Right.
I mean, not just as a parent, but as a member of a family, for example. Yo, I want to get back to that community point.
Yeah, community, man. And actually, let's get into this thing because it's been on my mind, man. My son, I'm interested in it. I want to know, and he has no idea. I told him this knucklehead, and I think he's probably with his chick right now. I said today was supposed to be, hey, come with Dad Day. This Negro texted me last night at midnight. Dad, I'm gonna hang out with a couple friends tomorrow. I said, bro, it's supposed to be Dad Sunday. I was gonna drop this stuff on him, but I was gonna bring him. But he wants to hit these streets, so it's all good. I'm not tripping.
Hey, he's 17 going on 18. He graduated. He's graduated already?
Nah, this year though. This is his senior year.
Oh, so it's the beginning of his
June,
senior
year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Senioritis is probably going to set in pretty soon.
In.
Oh, it's already.
Oh, it's kicking. I'm watching. I got the thing. We got his phone thing. I'm like, where is this? Where is he going, bro?
Ooh, good thing we didn't have that. No, but I mean, in a nutshell, I went there with a 1-year plan.
Okay.
A lot of people go there. A lot of people go to Japan through the JET program, which is like one of the largest assistant language teacher, ALT. The ALT position in Japan is a commodity. I mean, English is a commodity in Japan. So if English is your native language and or you're proficient at it, you essentially can get a job in Japan. Some require you to have a 4-year degree, like the JET program.
Okay.
So you just need a 4-year degree or a degree from an accredited university. And you have a degree. It doesn't even have to be in teaching, education, anything like it. It just has to be a degree. And then you can apply. Now, those contracts are usually on a 1-year basis. And if your hosting organization, or actually that is JET is your hosting organization, but if the school, the district, the Ministry of Education, depending on what level you're in the system, if they decide, like, hey, let's renew your contract after a year, and you decide, yeah, let's renew a contract, then you can do that up to 4 times for a total of 5 years. That's the typical basic, like, so many ALTs out there know exactly what I just said. My situation was a little different in that I was a direct hire through my university. One of the Japanese professors in a class at my university in my senior year was just like, hey, there's this opportunity for 2 ALTs in Shiga, Japan. I'm like, I don't even know where Shiga is, but she said Japan. I look it up and I'm like, what? I didn't know the geography that well.
Right.
Everybody knows like Tokyo, Osaka, maybe Hokkaido or something.
Right.
Okinawa, right?
Right.
Shiga, what? I was like, oh, it's kind of like, it's on the main island. All right. I know they got good train systems. And I was like, I'm going to do it. And got selected, went on a 1-year contract.
Do they house you?
And they take care of you. So I will give them, when I say them, I mean JET, or even if you're a private hire through the Board of Education, kind of like what I was, you can expect to be subsidized for your living expenses. Mine came in the form of, at the end of the year, they would give me a lump sum that was basically worked out to half of my rent every month. It was just I would have to pay the rent. It would get deducted from my account automatically. But at the end of the year, I got basically half of that back.
That's cool.
So that's a huge part.
Yeah.
Not only that, but you also have transportation on your side, because it's very easy to use public transportation and get where you want to go in that country. Even in the country of that country, the public transportation is really good. And so when I look at things like the rail in Hawaii, I'm like, that's cute. That's cute. Y'all,
super cute.
You're trying. You're
super
trying.
Cute. I just don't understand the start and the end point, but I mean that's beside the point.
I became a huge fan of public transportation. Not just when I went to Oregon for 5 years, I was like a bike rider after that.
I forgot you went to Oregon.
Yeah,
I forgot because I knew you was in Africa for a while. I knew you went to Japan.
All of the above.
Yeah, man, that's solid, Mr. International.
Hey, and there's still so much more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I almost went. Your boy almost went to Qatar for the World Cup.
That would have been killer.
But I'm like, yo, with the kids, that's a long flight. I mean, not one flight. That's a long travel plan.
You got to drop down, switch planes, get gas, something, right? That's not a.
I was like, you got to spend a night in London, maybe, or New York. Like, I was trying to break it up, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? It's coming to our neck of the woods in 2026.
Is it?
Yeah.
Where?
Qatar is going to be dope because everything is in one small country.
Okay.
So you're going to have all the teams and all the fans in one relatively small location.
Just laying on top of each other. Yeah.
Is going. That's special.
Yeah.
In 2026, it's going to be North America, Canada. So they're going to be host cities in Canada, America, and Mexico.
Mexico's probably fire though.
Yeah, but imagine you being a fan and you're like, I want 3 tickets.
Right.
Imagine how much logistical planning has to go into that, how much travel has to go into that, and how much more money and budget time you're going to be spending just moving from this little. It's basically a bunch of islands.
Right.
Every host city is a little island now, versus it could have been a metropolis.
Right. That makes sense.